Well, good afternoon again. Another lovely day. Stay in, stay safe. But of course, I think that a lot of the community is pulling together now, which is a fine thing for all of us. There's lots of really good people out there. I want to thank everybody. And of course, tonight we should be out on the doorstep clapping for all our nurses, doctors, well, all the workers that are doing a fine job in these very difficult circumstances. And this one's called today, Between Ourselves and the Gate Post. I am seed Mrs. James next door for a brave while. Sick is she, asked father. No, replied mother. Washing she was yesterday. I'd a mind to build the garden wall higher, but if I did, she'd get a ladder to look over. Can't keep she out. Her old man is dead and buried up. So that's the end of he. Yes, said mother, and 'twill be the end of we too if we'd live long enough. Old Syed Trenier had a lucky escape from she. Been courting her for 15 years, 'cause she wouldn't be married in church and he hated chapel. Now he got a housekeeper to keep him warm. I shall never forget when she did marry Dick James. He used to hack up her garden and put in few teddies afore they got hitched up. He told me all about 'em down in the tool house. Her mother, what used to live with her, was pretty sick in bed, and Dick was invited to go up and see her. You're looking awful, said Dick, but cheer up, you'll soon be in a better place. I don't want to go, she replied. Camborne is good enough for me. What about it, continued Dick. Who's going to look after her when mother's gone? I don't know, replied Lizzie, peeping out from behind a handkerchief she was holding up to her face. Upon that, Dick said, I caught hold of her, and she said, yes, believe I will. Next day he went down to see the parson to put up the banns. Well, said the parson, I suppose you know what you're doing. Yes, said Dick, but I won't get married afore she know what she's doing. Nice little house and all that. When the great day arrived, Dick was in next door an hour before it was time to go to church, helping her to get ready. They went down back lane and was back again from church, man and wife, and none of the neighbours knew anything about it. Well, said Dick, so long. I'll see you again, Mara, same time. He didn't come down here live for 2 weeks, 'cause he said the rent of his house was paid up till then. He had been married afore and had saved up her wedding ring. He told me himself he found out what would fit Lizzie before he asked her to marry him. Very careful man he was. One thing I can't abide is people with two faces. For 2 pence, said mother, I tell 'ee to keep out of this house. If she got 2 faces, said Richard Henry, how don't she put on one or the other one? Shut up. Somebody is knocking at the front door. I'll answer. 'Tis the milkman, I expect. Mother goes to the door, and there stood Mrs. James. Come in, Mrs. James. I'm so glad to see ye. We was then going out. Oh, don't let me keep you in, replied Mrs. James. I only wanted to know if you could tell me who got the house that was to let on the top of Sandy Lane. I see the notice is gone. I know somebody who wants a house. 'Tidn't a house I should want, said mother. I don't like all they modern inconveniences. And sides, the front door is round the back. I heard some hammering there last night. I passed up Longgoing Bell. I looked in through the window. There was a man trying to drive a nail in the wall. Had the head up against the wall and was striking the point with his hammer. Turning round, he saw me and shouted, yes, I tried, but I can't drive in. No wonder, says I, haven't got no sense. That nail is for the opposite wall. So 'tis, said he, and started to drive the nail in. After a few blows, out rushed the man next door and shouted, stop, don't drive him no further. It will do exactly for me to hang my hat on. Of course, it was what they'd call a lath and plaster wall. Well, we're going magic lanterns, said mother, and I hope you haven't left your fire out. Good night, and mind the step. Just read this little poem here now. We met and we were married a long time ago. We worked for long hours. Wages were low. No TV, no wireless, no bath time, no bath. Times were hard. Just a cold water tap and a walk in the yard. No holiday abroad, no carpets on the floor. We had coal on the fire, no locks on the door. Our children arrived, no pill in those days, and we brought them up without state aid. They were safe going out to play in the park, and old folk could go for a walk in the dark. No Valium, no drugs, no LSD. We cured our ills with a good cup of tea. No vandals, no muggins, there was nothing to rob. We felt we were rich with a couple of bob. People were happier in those far-off days, kinder and caring in so many ways. Milkmen and pepper boys would whistle and sing. At night the pictures was one of our mad flings. We all got our share of struggle and strife. We all had to face it, that's the pattern of life. Now I'm alone, I look back through the years. I don't think of the bad times, troubles and tears. I remember the blessings, our home and our love, and that we shared them together. I thank God above. One more quick one here now. This one's called Mother. A mother is someone who gives you your life and cuddles you close to her breast. She tickles your chin, fixes nappies and pins, and obliges you every request. A mother is someone who sends you to school in trousers that stop at the knees. Then she waits by and by with a tear in her eye and a sandwich of pickle and cheese. A mother is someone who sends you to play in shoes that you mustn't get wet and tugs at her hair in apparent despair, should you happen somehow to forget. She tends you through chickenpox, measles and mumps. She tells you to listen and learn. She gives and she buys with a heart that denies there's nothing you give in return. She blossoms with pride when you pass your exam, despite the concerns in her head. Her treasures are sold, and you'll never be told how the uniform got onto your bed. She looks at your own work as though it were Greek, and suffers each stirring of youth, unable to please the impostor she sees, who substitutes rainbows for truth. A mother is someone who watches you leave and tells you she'll always be there. Then writes to you, inquire if your room has a fire, and to probe on the length of your hair. On visits back home, you're not eating enough, and your socks have a hole in their toes. To look in her eyes is to lose your disguise, for a mother is someone who knows. She knows when you marry, and down through the years, the passions and pangs you endure. And you know all the while, with each page of the file, one rock is forever secure. A mother is someone who never gets old, till the day when she struggles to cope. Then the roles are reversed, and the parent is nursed, and the child is the servant of hope. A mother is someone who passes away. It happens, believe me, I know. So cherish your trust. Cross the seas if you must. Love her now, and don't ever let go. Thank you very much.